Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Kristi, Saul, the co-founder of the Post+Institute, coming at you live on this marvelous Monday evening. I hope everybody's doing well. I know for a lot of people, today was getting back into the groove after the holiday weekend. I know it was for me. Oh, God, what a day. So I just want to plug these books real quick, From Fear to Love, which we have on promotion at feartolovebook.com, and The Great Behavior Breakdown. And I also want to give a shout out to Kyra, our team member who has been creating these marvelous graphics that you guys have been seeing over the last couple of months. So she's reading through this book, you know, it's really awesome to have team members who are willing to put in the work to learn the model, or at least to read the book, so that they can create these incredible graphics to help our business grow. So just a quick shout out for that. I took a little lay down. Can't really say I napped, but I did get some good relaxed rest in, and I was really needing it, which is why I picked the topic of self-care being so important. It's so important. My goodness. Oh, goodness gracious. I was just feeling it. I feel it in my back. I felt it in my shoulders. I felt it in my jaws. And I was like, oh, I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be talked to. I don't want to be messed with. And so thank goodness my daughter is old enough that she can keep herself safe and entertained. She's almost got her almost ready to be driving her car. So she's well past needing me to be right there with her every single minute, like when she was little. So let's just talk a little bit about self-care and listening to our bodies. I think it's really the key. I find the key to self-care is also listening to your body, slowing down enough to notice how you are feeling. I saw something interesting. I've not researched it, but I will. And you guys maybe can tell me what you think. But it was something talking about, I know we hold stress in different places in our body, but this was particularly talking about trauma getting stored in our hips. I know I have a lot of issues with my hips, and I know that I have since I remember when I was pregnant, that being quite a thing, that my hips were really tight. So noticing where in your body you carry stress. I carry a lot in my shoulders. My hips a little bit, but mostly my shoulders and my neck a whole lot. Some people feel it in their chest. Some people feel it like in their throat, like they've got something they want to say, but they can't say it. And some people, that is actually their history, that their voices weren't heard. They weren't permitted to speak. They weren't permitted to share their ideas. They weren't permitted to express their feelings. And so a lot of times the stress gets caught here in their throat. So, it's different places. I know some people who, even in their hands, I also know that there are different places in your hands that you can massage that can also help with your heartbeat, your circulation. So self-care, noticing first of all where in your body you carry stress. I think that's really important. Learning how to breathe in to those places. Carol says, wow, I always learn so much. Well, thanks, Carol. I feel like that too. When I'm out there in the world, I just feel like I'm picking up all these little nuggets that I can't wait to come back and share with you guys. So noticing where in your body you feel where you carry the stress, and then learning how to breathe into, and it's just like a visual, you just visualize, because a lot of times, just like we hold our breath when we're stressed, like the first thing we do is we hold our breath, we constrict. And you might not notice that you're holding your breath, but you may notice that you're sighing a lot. So You know, if you're cooking dinner or you're at your desk or if you're doing the dishes, whatever, and you just notice that you're like sighing, like just sighing. It may be that your attempt to sort of catch your breath because you've been intermittently holding your breath. So that's a good indicator of stress, because it's interesting how we live our life in a way where sometimes we get so accustomed to a relatively high level of stress and having to sort of be a container, holding in or being like a buffer for those around us. Walking on eggshells really causes us to have this very interesting posture, doesn't it? So, so noticing where we carry stress in our body, noticing if you're sighing, that's an indicator that you maybe have been holding your breath. And that is a great time when you notice it to just pause and take some really deep breaths, really oxygenate your body. Sometimes when we do that, when we finally kind of notice that we've been really stressed and we take those deep breaths, the next thing that can come up is emotion. And that's okay. It's okay. It's good to let it just flow, the natural flow. And if it's emotion comes up, then if it's tears, then just let it come up. If it's something else, if it's, like for me today, when I was laying in my bed, I just sort of felt this, I don't know, it was like a real neurological fatigue. There was no source to it that I could put my finger on, except I did notice that when I got out a little bit, I actually felt better. So I think my body's missing activity and socialization. So listening to your body and trying to identify what it needs. Is it nutrition? Is it rest? Is it socialization? Is it activity? Is it physical activity? Is it something where you're connecting with your friends? Is it something that you're needing spiritual? And so noticing and learning yourself, I find it's usually somewhere in there. It's a nutrition need, it's a social need, it's a spiritual need, it's a physical activity need, it's a rest need. Those seem to be the big five for most people. So really being able to listen to your body and hear what it needs. Julie says, right, sometimes I just need to emote. Yeah, we carry a lot. And it's not always like something in particular that we can like put our finger on, but we just need to let it out, Here's the thing. When we go ahead and just let it out, it resolves a lot quicker. And we can encourage our kids the same way. Angela said, so true. I felt that way Saturday. And maybe it's almost like, after Thanksgiving, maybe it feels like a little bit of a party crash, or maybe we ate too much sweets and have too much sugar. And now we're kind of back to regular life and our bodies are kind of going through like looking for a sugar rush, but we're all just feeling a little flat. So Kristi, hey, nice to have you here. So I guess I'm not the only one who was feeling it today. So thank goodness I got to lay down for just a few minutes before coming on. And I noticed just this desire to kind of do like some deep, putting a little noise with it. And that vibration was just, I know I sound so weird, but I'm among friends, right? Who cares? Man, it just really, I can feel it vibrating in my chest and it's resonating in my head and it's helping to clear something out. And I don't really know what the something is. I just know that I'm feeling a little out of whack. Here's the great thing though. The beautiful thing is now I know a few hacks that I can use to help myself, but I also know that this isn't going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. This is a day. It's a part of a day. I haven't felt like this all day long. It's just really been from about 2 o'clock on. So it's interesting how our minds and our mind-body system can kind of get into that space where we feel like this moment is forever, but it's not. And so thank God I now have the ability to just tell myself, it's just today. Don't worry about it. You're going to get a good night's sleep tomorrow and you're going to wake up and you're going to feel a lot better. So don't worry about it. And if if you're still feeling a little flat, then, you've got some things to try. Try music, try taking a walk, try putting on some Zoom. And I like doing Zumba. So, you know, I might put on some Zoom and do some Zumba, or might get my yoga mat out and do some good stretching and some good breathing. But I know, you know, this is just it's an interesting time. Some schools are back in school. Some schools are not. I think we're missing socialization. We're missing the feedback from other people. I saw a post on my personal Facebook that said, if your kids are doing online learning, distance learning, do you get anything else done during the day? And my heart just went out, because I remember what that was like when mine was little and she needed me all the time, you know, like literally I could take like 15 to 30 minute breaks away from her, but the rest of the time I really just kind of need to be hanging out with her, engaging, playing, doing things, you know. And it's really hard when you maybe you have work that you're trying to get accomplished, you know. This is just a time that's sort of taxing on our neurological system. So I just want to encourage your self-care. And, you know, it may not be that you get an hour to go to the gym, or an hour to do a class, or 2 hours to go get a massage. And it may be that you don't get a spa day. You know, those may be luxuries that your life just doesn't allow right now, you know. So you have to figure out how to get those short emotional and mental breaks. I want to see what Kristi says. Any recommendations for when you do get a few days off, but still don't feel like you're getting a break? Oh, wow. You know, Kristi, that just spoke to my heart in such a big way, because that makes me think about probably your mind really reeling about things that you're worried about, or thinking that now that if my child's not here, then this is the time for me to, you know, get my whole house clean. You know, I've done that. I've done that before. I've done that where I have a break from being a full-time single parent, and then I would spend that time feeling like I needed to take care of every other obligation that I felt like I had neglected. Or it may be worry, it may be anxiety, it may be even like detoxing from all the activity that our bodies get used to a certain pace, and then and a certain amount of drama, and a certain kind of energy, and a certain amount of excitement, and a certain amount of stress. And then even when these things that we have been associating with as the source of our stress, when they're not present, that doesn't mean that our neurology our neurology isn't still in that space of sort of that frantic. And sometimes it can even be harder because you don't really even know what to do with yourself. And so it will take some time and some practice, I think, at figuring out how to just be quiet and what kind of rest and self-care you really need. You know, it's different for everybody. I gave you sort of the short list of mine. And sometimes it's a different kind of rest. Like sometimes we think rest means like being still and like taking a nap or sleeping in. Maybe that's true. Sometimes our fatigue comes from not having the time or permission to do the things that feed your soul. And so sometimes it's not that we need to be still and rest. Sometimes it's that we need to be able to engage in something that really brings us a unique kind of joy. So Kristi, that was a really big question. And Angela has a comment, so I want to read it. She says, from my experience, that is usually because you need more time, more of a break. And that may be true too. You know, I can tell you, like on vacation, when I've had vacations, honestly, well, one thing, I like to drive when I'm taking a vacation. Sometimes I like to drive because the car time gives me a chance to decompress before I actually hit my vacation. Now, if I fly, that's lovely because then you don't have all that time kind of wasted. I don't think it's wasted. I love driving and looking at the scenery and listening to my favorite music and singing at the top of my lungs and, being random all by myself with no audience is pretty pleasant. But, if I fly, then sometimes I actually need a full day to just be and do whatever it is that I'm feeling pulled to do. Because my body needs to decompress from all the stress, anxiety, the drama. But, we get used to this certain kind of pace. And when it's not present, sometimes we don't really quite know what to do with ourselves. So I think I want today's message just to be really simple, though, in terms of really listening to what your body needs. Nutrition, and everybody's different. But for me, if I don't get protein by midday, then I'm usually going to start plummeting, and I plummet in a way that I can't really recover from very well. So I'll just be plummeting, and then just like I'll feel better, but not really good. So nutrition, the right amount of sleep, physical activity, and now that we've got time change, oh, here's a big one, your vitamin D. If you're not getting outside for some good sunshine vitamin D, then you might want to look at taking a supplement. I'm not a doctor, so you might, if you need to talk to your doctor, talk to your doctor. But if your vitamin D is depleted, it will leave you feeling depressed. And so by taking a simple 100 or 1,000 IUs a day, it can make a significant difference in how you may be feeling, especially with the seasons changing. So sleep, nutrition, physical activity, social activity. And that doesn't mean just hanging out with just anybody. You want to make sure you get some time with the people that you need for the space that you're in. Because sometimes we have different friends for different seasons of our moods in our life. Or maybe it's alone time. So, and spiritual. So these are the 5 areas that I find of self-care to be really important. And listening to your body to see what it is that you need. And giving you permission, have permission to meet those needs. I know it can be hard, especially when we're home with our kids all day, all the time. My mom used to say, nap when they're napping. I don't know, people, if we're bubbling together to be able to have play dates with people that you care about and that you love. It's just a really challenging time. And I think that even the holidays, having this, we know we're in the Thanksgiving to Christmas flow, and, that can certainly do different things to us emotionally. So I just want you to be really gentle. Just be real gentle with yourself. And it's okay. This whole idea of parenting that we always have to be up and we always have to be on and we always have to be everything. No. That's not helpful. It's not even helpful to your kids. Because they're not going to feel like that. And then they're going to feel like, what's wrong with me? Because they're going to follow your lead. So it's okay to just be. And if you feel like you need to have a day in bed crying, then bring your kids in to flop in the bed with you. If you just letting them know, I'm just human. This whole never let them see you sweat thing in parenting, that's a very detrimental myth. Because they need to know that we're just human too. And that's where we build relationship from, is being authentic. And it's okay to say to your kids, I'm not feeling quite myself today. I'm sure I'm going to feel better soon. I'm just having a cranky day. I'm just having a grouchy day. I'm just having an edgy day. We all have hormones. We all have different days when we feel better and not so much better. And we don't want to spew our stress all over our kids just because we're not having a great day. So it gives them a nice framework when we just own it. Just own it up front. Just say, I'm just feeling like a Krabby Patty. I just don't feel all that great. And you'll be surprised. They might just come over and give you a hug and a kiss. I can remember many times when Marley was little and I'd be so stressed out about something and the tears would just be rolling. They just roll down my cheeks and she'd just look at me and I said, baby, don't worry. I just need to let my stress out. And then 6 months later, she's doing the same thing, saying, Mom, I just got to let the stress out. See how healthy that is when we just relate to what is and from our heart, that place of authenticity. So I hope you guys have a beautiful evening. whatever it is that you need to do. I hope you have permission to do it. If it's time for quiet, then I hope you're able to get that. If you need someone to make you a snack and bring it to you in bed, I hope you have somebody in your world who can do that for you. If you need to wrestle and play and belly blow and roughhouse with your kids, I hope you can do that. If it's lounging on the couch watching your favorite show, I hope you can do that. If it's going to the gym and maybe getting in a class with your friends, and an activity and exercise class, I hope you get to do that. I hope that you get the opportunity to do whatever it is that you're needing to feed your body, to feed your soul, to help you have that space of, equilibrium? Is that the word I'm looking for? And I hope that through all of it, that your kids see you as authentic, as just human, loving, a loving human, a fallible, loving human being, just doing the best that you can. And remember what Brian tells us, that in any given moment, we can act out of our same blueprints. Whew. Those blueprints of fear, stress, and overwhelm. The blueprints that say, you have to be a perfect parent. Your kids can't ever see how you feel. You can act out of those blueprints. Or you can take 1 to 2 to 3 deep breaths, and you can choose love. And that love can start with just loving yourself right where you're at, however you're feeling. Much love to you guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow.